Hi, Little Miss Recappers. Just a quick trigger warning. Aside from our usual salty language, this episode contains talk of abortion and birth trauma. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we turn down a free college education for our kids. Out of spite.
Out of spite. That is the dumbest decision. And the look on Jeff's face was like,
what are you doing?
Are you fucking serious here? Like,
you can spite send my kid to college.
Right.
It's
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let anybody pay for my kid to go to college because Lord knows I don't want to pay for it.
You can insult me, call me ugly, call me stupid, and then offer to send my kid to college, and guess what? I'm still taking that money.
Yes, I am. Happily. Mm-hmm. You can call me all sorts of names. I'm fine.
Well, the name I'm going to call you is Amanda Lipnack-Radell, and I'm Amy Archer, and we are here today together to discuss the rewatch of one of our favorite shows.
Yes.
Yellowjackets. And this episode really delivered. We are on episode 6, which is called
Saints.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a good one. And I was saying to Amy before we started recording that this is an episode that is really interesting to rewatch in retrospect and see all of the things that we didn't know then that we know now, all of the little things that they drop. Like now we know why Shauna has so many fucking bunny statues.
Yes.
Which I did not track that the first time.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yep.
Didn't occur to me, but it's like, oh no, Jackie's really creepy, fucked up parents.
Right. Yeah. Keep giving because, and this is something we'll talk about later, but Jackie's parents don't even know Jackie because Jackie didn't love bunnies.
No, Jackie
maybe she did when she was 5.
Yeah. Jackie, her parents did not know her, and her parents have turned her into the saint of all saints.
Yes.
And just the way they talk to Shauna with the like, well, aren't you a loser? And you always had to live in her perfect shadow. And meanwhile, Shauna was the way more interesting person always.
Yeah, it was something. Speaking of the way people talk about other people, we have to check out that documentary, guys. It's by Sundance. It's a 4-part documentary. It's called Thick Skin.
Okay. Yeah. You were saying, say more about it. Other than the text you sent last night.
It's a documentary, and it's about people talking about fatness and fat bodies and how they've experienced such discrimination and how things are changing and how their journey to accept themselves. And it looks amazing.
Okay.
And
I would like to see it.
I have to find it because I think I would love to talk about it.
The other thing I think we should, whenever we have the opportunity to watch it, is the documentary about Aubrey Gordon.
Who I love.
Friend, right?
Yes.
Your fat friend film. I really want to watch that. Little fun fact about me: I quit my job in 2007 and drove to Utah and worked at the Sundance Film Festival in 2008. Really? I did.
Good for you.
I was miserable in my job, and I said to the universe, "Get me out of here." And a couple weeks later, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, you want to come live with me in my house in Salt Lake and work at Sundance?" So. I sold tickets at the box office, and
that's so amazing. I love that for you.
Saw 23 movies that week or something. It was great. It was totally great. And it was very much what I needed at that point in my life to just get the hell away and do that.
I've started sort of unintentionally harnessing the power of Alexis Rose. And I always do I love that for you.
I love that for you. The other thing I will watch, back to Schitt's Creek, we were talking about that beforehand. We always watch the dance. I always watch David dancing for Patrick. But the other thing is I'll watch I'm a Little Bit Alexis occasionally.
Oh, yes. Yes. I have to say, though, as much as I love Schitt's Creek, and I love it, Parks and Rec is still my favorite. The first couple seasons of that show are chef's kiss.
I need to watch that. I never have.
Ugh. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, I do need to watch it. I feel that way about The Office.
I am Leslie Knope. You know what I mean? Just this person who is such a government nerd and loves how the government works.
Same. Yep. There's a reason I have a degree in political science.
You have her foil, Ron Swanson, who wants to take it all down from the inside. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I do need to watch that.
So good. Days. All right, so we are here today, like I said, to talk about Yellowjackets, season 6. No, season 1, episode 6, The
Yes.
Saints. Saints.
Saints, no
Um,
the, just saints.
Today Amanda's guiding us. She has the notes. Thankfully, she
Yes.
actually did her job and showed up, unlike me, who just phones
Unlike
it
both
in
of us.
apparently.
Unlike
Jesus
both of
Christ.
us.
All right,
So
guys,
we're gonna yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say, I'm reminding everyone this is a rewatch.
Yes.
We know what we know through the end of season 2. We can't unknow it, so
Nope.
it's gonna color what we see, and we talk about it in that context of a
Absolutely.
rewatch.
Absolutely, and we're gonna do what we did last time versus, like, a scene by scene. We're just gonna talk about things that happened in the wilderness and then things that happened in the real world or present world, and we'll go from there. But
I like that.
the first big thing in the wilderness is Lottie. Lottie's not
Oh,
doing well.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Lottie's not doing well. She still has her scar from smashing her head into the window. I like how I touch my head when I do that.
Mhm,
She has her
mhm.
scar. Like anyone can see that except for you. And she's off her meds. She's got visions happening all over the place. But we flash back to her parents. She being in the car with her parents as a little girl.
So cute,
And
by the way,
so
she's so
cute.
cute.
Yeah, whoever played her is absolutely adorable.
Mhm.
And actually whoever played her kind of looked like what I imagine your girls looked like as little ones.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. I mean, those Italian genes run strong in my family,
Yeah.
so we always have the olive skin, the dark hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks very much like what I would imagine your girls did. And so she's sitting there and her parents are arguing and they're at a red light. And all of a sudden she starts screaming. Her parents, instead of going through the light because it just turned green,
'Cause she's screaming, like, alarmingly.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like I'm happy, but like, oh my God, I'm seeing
Mhm.
terror.
Mhm, mhm.
And the person next, it's like obviously a 2-lane road. The person next to them goes forward and gets T-boned with a huge truck.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then she's fine.
Yep,
Like
she's fine.
right back. She's fine.
And
And the
mom and dad
parent,
are like,
what the hell is
do
going
we have a
on
broken
here?
kid here? Do we have to give it back?"
Right. Based on this, Lottie should be returned.
Although, well, here's a question. Do we return the kid if the kid is
Saves
saving
us.
our lives?
Uh,
Mm.
I mean, that is that is something in her favor.
Right,
That
right,
is
right.
going to help her stay around longer, but I
Mhm,
still
mhm.
think she should be returned.
Yeah, the
Sh
minute that creepiness works against me, she's gone.
She's gone. She has to be returned. Um, and then we also see her parents talking, like, she overhears them, "We need to take her to a psychiatrist. Something's really wrong here."
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do we think Lottie's diagnosis is? Do we ever know? Do we ever hear what her possible mental illness can be?
They've not said anything. My guess would be like schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder,
I'm thinking something like
something
that
like that,
with
because
visions.
she's seeing things and hearing things.
Mhm.
And, does she have the shine a la The Shining so she can see all this
Mm,
stuff?
mm,
Like,
you have
or
to bring that into it.
she be crazy. Like,
Right.
one or the other, and I don't wanna talk about mental illness like she be crazy. Like, she's not
No,
crazy,
I know what you
but
mean.
yeah, is she like, does she have some sort of sixth sense from the other world, or does she have a mental illness?
Hmm.
Or both.
'Cause you know me, I'm gonna go with, trying to explain this logically,
Mhm.
and because I and this is trauma I carry with me from Lost,
Okay.
which is they tried to make us think there were supernatural things at play, but in the end, it was all explained, like, easily
Right.
explained.
Yeah.
So, there's part of me that's like, does she just have mental illness?
Yeah.
And she's having visions, and she's seeing things, and she's hallucinating, and that's
Right.
it. But I don't know, it feels like The Shine to me.
It does, because the visions she has are very specific and very
Yeah.
much feeding into what's happening around them and help them
Yes.
versus just,
Yeah.
seeing things. So who knows?
Mhm.
She also sees the deer that they eventually kill, so the deer with the blood on its antlers.
Which that deer is
Not well.
rotted from the inside,
Yeah, there was, like, maggots in it and
and
stuff.
so how's it moving?
I don't know. Maybe
It's
I
literally
don't
rotting from the inside out, like, in all int for all intents and purposes, it's dead,
Yeah, but
but
it's
walking.
walking around. It's not well, and it's
Yeah.
gross when they eventually do open it up. Um, and also the other thing about Lottie during this is that she goes to Laura Lee and Laura Lee baptizes her
Yeah.
because she's like, "I'm seeing these visions," and she's trying to she's trying to help herself. She's trying to cure herself in some way, shape, or form, and
Yeah.
sees Laura Lee being a good person. But she even has a vision when she gets baptized. Like, that
Yeah,
doesn't go
now
over
I
her
always
either.
thought she had a vision of Laura Lee dying when she was baptized,
I think she did, but
but
it's sketchy. You
it's
can't tell.
right, it's up for interpretation because
Mhm.
it's like Laura Lee's face, like, turns to black,
Right.
but
Is
we
that
don't
just
know
the
what
sun
that
in her
means.
eyes? Is that something else?
Right.
But I think she sees that Laura Lee is going to die. I don't think she
Mhm.
necessarily knows she's gonna die the way she dies.
Right, it's not like we see the whole scene of the plane going down.
Right. Oh, and her little bear Leonard. That's the
Oh.
part that made me the saddest, that Leonard just is sitting there as her co-pilot. Oh,
Yes. Yes.
so sad. Other things that happened, so we've got some Ty and Van stuff, which is super cute. They're
Well, before
oh,
we
you
go
wanna go back?
forward, though, can I
Yes,
talk one more thing about Lottie?
of course.
What was the vision where she was underground lighting candles? Like, what was that?
We don't know yet.
We don't know because I don't know what that place was. Did you?
No, I wonder now though, is it the place underneath the tree?
Maybe, but I saw, like, industrial piping.
Hmm.
Like, it looked like Freddy Krueger's basement.
It did look like Freddy Krueger's basement. I don't know yet.
Okay.
What if
Alright.
what if they find, like, a whole, like, lair underneath the ground
What if they
somewhere?
find Freddy Krueger? That will really open things up.
I keep telling Todd that we need to rewatch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, it's bad. Jenny and I covered it on Gen X, this is why. It's
Yeah,
bad.
that's why I wanna see it. I'm like, "I think it's gonna be real bad," and he's like one night, I'm like, "Are we gonna watch it?" He's like, "Wait, you were serious?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm serious."
Just real quick, movies we've never seen. I watched The Big Lebowski last night, never saw it before.
How
Timmy
did you never
introduced me
see
to it.
it?
I don't, because 'cause I'm an idiot.
Oh my
Never
god.
saw it. It was good.
That's another one Todd and I wanna rewatch. I haven't watched it in a long
Loved
time.
it.
He quotes it a lot.
Yeah, loved it.
He quotes it a lot, yeah.
Anywho,
Anywho,
so Ty and Van, yes, very
yeah,
cute stuff between them.
so cute, and they're, like, in the water, and they're still trying to hide their romance.
Yep.
No one knows quite yet, and they're, like, playing the game of writing things on each other's back and
Well, and I don't think
boobs.
that Van cares too much, but Ty seems
Ty
to care.
Ty definitely cares. I think
Mhm.
Van is much more comfortable with her sexuality than Ty is.
Yes, yes.
Um, and but they're just cute, and Ty tells Van, like, "I think we need to venture out. I need to go get us help." And, Van's like, "There's hundreds of miles of wilderness." She goes,
What
"We
did
don't
you
know
think
that."
of this idea? Like, I didn't think it was terrible.
I don't think it's terrible either. I mean, the challenge is we know what we know, so we know it doesn't go well,
Right, at
but
all.
at all, but, like, I can see because Ty's entirely right. It could be hundreds of miles of wilderness. They could be 5 miles from something, and they don't know.
Mhm,
Now,
mhm.
if one would argue if they were 5 miles or something and someone saw that plane crash,
Yeah,
someone would have come to get them.
yeah,
If they weren't in total wilderness, somehow someone would have seen the plane crash.
yeah.
And they're also thinking still that the boxes at some point was telling people how to find them. I
Oh,
think they've given
fuck.
up on that
That's
now,
right, yeah.
but they don't know that Misty
Ugh,
killed the
God.
God, this is all Misty's fault.
Misty, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Girl. Anyway, yeah. Um, what a mess. And Van doesn't want her to do this because I think Van
No.
is afraid she's gonna do that. Ty is also disappeared. Oh, the other thing that early on, before we see Ty do this, they're in the water and she takes Ty's hands. She's like, "You touch a lady with those fingers?" Like, it was cute, but
Mhm.
her fingers had so much dirt in them.
Can we talk about this for a minute?
Yeah.
What is this mental illness? That she's eating dirt. Is she a werewolf?
That is not what I was expecting. She a werewolf.
I watched enough True Blood. Is she a werewolf?
I don't think she's a werewolf.
Because that show had vampires and werewolves.
I don't believe her to be a werewolf.
Okay,
It
okay.
didn't occur to me as an option. Coming back to myself now. I'm gonna look at her as a werewolf forever.
I saw
So,
Teen Wolf. I saw Teen Wolf.
oh, I saw Teen Wolf a lot because it's my Michael and all of that. Is she a werewolf? No. What is her mental illness? See, I go back and forth. Is she mentally ill?
Mhm.
And these both of these things can be true. When you have a significant iron deficiency, you
Mm.
start to develop something called pica, Pica. And that's where you hear the people who are eating flour, ice chewers. I've been an ice chewer on and off my whole life, and it really does mirror
Mhm.
when I'm more anemic than not.
Mhm.
People will eat dirt. People will eat
Isn't
trees.
that where the whole legend of the werewolf came? There was a legend that was born out of a disease like that.
I think you have a little bit of a werewolf obsession today. I'm just throwing it out there. This is a lot about werewolves.
Guys,
Okay.
come at me with your werewolf lore. I could have sworn I read about maybe it was vampires that they were anemic and that's how that whole thing started.
I feel like if in the legend anyone was anemic, it would be vampires, which is why they want to suck other people's blood.
Right. Like
I
I
feel like
think
that's what it would
there's
go with.
one of those things started as a legitimate thing
So
and
either
people
werewolves or
misinterpreted.
vampires started as anemia. Got it. Also, that could be what's wrong with Ty. We don't know.
Oh my god, Amy Archer science is not good.
Oh. There's a reason you and I both have liberal arts degrees, not science degrees. But the thing is, if Ty weren't disassociating while she was doing this, I would point less to mental illness and more to potential, like, I
Right.
mean, it would make sense that she's anemic. She's not
Right.
eating.
She's totally disassociating though.
But she has no idea it's happening,
No.
and
Mm-mm.
it still happens as an adult. When I'm pretty sure she's not anemic as an adult.
And it seems to be a trauma response.
It does.
Because it was after the Yellowjackets all got back together and this all started that she's doing
Yes,
it as an adult.
that doing it again, and the
Mhm.
stress of the race, the
Mhm.
Senate race, and all of that. I have a feeling in that really pretty kitchen, they make a lot of highly nutritious food, so I don't think she's
Mm.
anemic as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
That kitchen is too pretty for her to have a vitamin deficiency.
Agreed.
'Cause I think those 2 things go together. Um, and Lottie asks Ty, because like Ty, we'll see why Ty is running off into the woods in just a moment. We'll
Mhm.
talk about that. But as Ty is about to do that, Lottie asks her if she knows what she's doing at night, because Lottie has now seen her do this.
Yeah, she's like, "Were you out here eating dirt last night?" And Ty's like, "What are you talking about?" And she
And
just runs off.
right, what are you talking about? And I don't have time for your Lottie-ness right now because I got
Mhm.
bigger things to do, which she
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
But so Lottie is seeing this as well. Pretty soon Van is going to see it, which is when we know they tie themselves to each other
Mhm.
and all of
Mhm.
that comes up. Because Van tries to keep her safe. And so we don't know if she's mentally ill or if she's a werewolf. We don't know where we're going.
Either could be true.
Either could be true.
Mhm.
Oh God.
I mean, I would love narratively to see the writers embrace that storyline.
Mhm.
Like, yes, Lottie is psychic. Yes, Thaisa is half werewolf. Like, let's just lean into this. Let's just go
Let's
with
just
it.
go nuts. Because again, you have your lost trauma, and if we find out it's
Yes.
nothing, you're gonna be
Yes.
pissed.
Yes. I'm trying to make sense of it all, but my
Thank God
lost trauma.
your lost
Somewhere
trauma.
there's like a support group for survivors of Lost.
Oh, I'm not the actual survivors on the show,
Nope,
but
nope,
the
nope,
people
nope,
who had to
nope.
survive
Mhm.
watching it.
Mhm.
Understood.
Yes.
Understood. Yeah, I need to watch Lost one day, even though
Because
I
we
know it's.
invested so much time and energy into that goddamn show. And it
Do you
still had its great moments, but
do you remember in St. Elmo's Fire when it all turned out it was an autistic boy's dream?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At the end.
Yeah, it's
The
all
snow
happening
like
in a little
the
snow
little
globe.
snow
Yeah.
globe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole
Oh,
thing is
wow. How dare
fake.
you? How dare you? Whoever wrote that.
Oh, I was like, "What did I
No,
do? I
not
didn't do
you.
anything."
Not you. How dare you, St. Elmo's Fire? Was it St.
St.
Elmo's
Elsewhere.
Fire?
It
St.
was St.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere. St.
How
Elsewhere.
dare you, St. Elsewhere writer? There.
That's right.
Mhm.
Bastards. So, now let's talk about Shauna, because a lot happens to her in the wilderness.
Trigger warning, guys. Trigger warning, trigger warning.
Birth stuff, birth trauma,
Birth stuff,
abortion.
abortion talk,
Yeah.
and action and all of that. So
Yeah.
if you're messed up with that, just scoot forward.
Yeah, give us a couple minutes. So
If you're messed up with that, like if you're messed up with birth trauma, goddamn.
if you're all broken from that, Jesus. Oh my God. So anyway, back to it. If you're messed
Amy
up from your
offends
birth,
half our audience in the trigger warning.
do we need a trigger warning for your trigger warning?
If you're
Apparently,
a weirdo and can't get through this stuff.
right.
God.
What was the term that you told me about? Trauma, not accelerator, trauma,
I don't know.
trauma activator
Trauma
versus,
activator.
yeah,
Yes. Versus
versus,
trigger warning.
yeah, I like that trauma
Yep.
activator. Anyway,
Well,
so keep
because
trauma around this.
the trigger is so connected to PTSD. So that's
Yes.
what people think of, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Anyway, so Shauna's having terrible birth dreams,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Ty knows about it. And so we see one of them where she births the baby and Jackie's there and Misty's there
Mhm.
um and she births a chicken.
It's like a rotisserie chicken.
A
That chicken
rotisserie
looked
chicken.
delicious.
It did look delicious, and then she eats it, which I've eaten the hell out of a rotisserie chicken before, like, right out of the
I
bag.
have 2 standing at my kitchen counter just eating it. I have to say something about these food dreams. I get hangry when I don't eat for, like, 4 hours. Could you imagine
Oh god,
what
being
I would
pregnant.
do for a cheeseburger
Oh,
in that
yeah.
situation?
Oh my god.
Like, if somebody was like, "Kill every single one of your friends, I'll give you a cheeseburger," I would consider it.
I it would give me pause for more than a second, not
Stay
gonna
away from
lie.
me, guys.
Right. Don't get near Amy when she's hangry,
Mhm,
apparently.
mhm.
But, yeah, it's awful, and, so she wakes up and Ty's like, "Oh, are you having another dream?" And she said, "Yeah." She's like, which animal did you eat this time?" Because she knows
Well, she
it's
was like,
happening.
"Was it a cheeseburger again?"
"Oh,
Because
you
she must have had
cheeseburger."
cheeseburger baby.
Yeah.
I could get behind. It's the best kind of baby.
There have been times I felt like I might have a cheeseburger baby,
Mhm,
so,
mhm, mhm,
after too
mhm.
much of a cheeseburger, you're like,
Yep.
"Well, I'm having a
You're
cheeseburger
carrying
baby."
a cheeseburger baby.
That's
Mhm.
right. And so they're talking, and Shauna says, "I could I could take the wire of my bra and basically give myself an abortion. Somebody at school did it." And Ty's like, "Oh, no, 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 you cannot do that. You will
Mm,
die."
mm.
And she's like, "I'm gonna die anyway. The only OB on call is Misty fucking Quigley."
Yeah,
Which that
yeah,
line makes me laugh every time.
yeah.
"OB on call is Misty fucking Quigley."
Do you know my great-grandmother died this way?
Really?
Mhm.
Giving
Yep.
her
Giving
back
herself
out
an abortion. Yeah.
giving herself one, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
It's
what
gnarly.
was it is gnarly. What was that movie that was Revolution Road?
Oh, yes.
Revolution
Oh, yes, with
is Kate
Leonardo
Winslet.
DiCaprio and Kate Winslet.
Oh, oh
Mhm.
god, that was such a
Mhm.
great but awful movie.
And this is what happens when
This
you have
is the natural
legislation
consequence.
which, bans safe abortions.
Safe and legal abortion.
Mhm. Mhm.
Abortion is healthcare, people. It is
Like,
healthcare.
it's gonna happen. People are going to wanna get rid of a pregnancy that they can't take care of or handle or
Right.
survive, and they're gonna find a way to do it.
It's also in the
Mhm.
middle of this scene up in the 2nd floor where they're talking about this. Shauna says, "I can't give birth to my best friend," and stops herself, and Ty's
I
like,
know.
"What were
I
you
know.
gonna say?" And pushes her, and she finally says, "It was Jeff's baby."
Yeah.
And Ty's like, "Fuck." Like,
So I was like, "Ooh."
this is even bigger than "You're pregnant in the wilderness."
Yeah.
This is all
Yeah.
this. So, Ty is upstairs looking for Shauna, and she sees a bra on the floor and picks it up and sees that one of the underwires has been pulled out, and she's like, "Fuck."
This is
So that
really hard to watch.
it is. So that's when she takes off. That's when Lottie's like, "Hey, were you outside eating dirt?" She's like, "Fuck off, Lottie. Ain't nobody got
Mhm.
time for you." Finds Shauna, who has laid out a blanket.
Mm.
She's uh, I'm sur where's the lighter coming from?
Well, somebody has to light all those candles.
I know, like, was there a lighter in the well-stocked cabin? Did someone have
Oh,
did
Nat
someone bring
probably
in
did. She smoked.
That's true, she
Yeah.
probably did.
Don't forget, back then, a lot of people had lighters.
That's true, I probably had a lighter back then. So she finds Shauna, and she's, doing the old trick that we used to do to get splinters out where you put the needle under the fire to
Yes.
sterilize it.
Yep.
And, Ty is like, "Oh my god, what are you gonna do?" And she realizes Shauna's gonna do this, so she won't let her do it alone.
Yeah. Ty is such a good friend.
She is so good.
So many times she's a good friend to Shauna.
Yeah, she just shows up for her over and over and
Mhm.
over again.
Mhm.
And then she's like, "Okay, well, if you're gonna do this, we're gonna do it together." And Ty takes the underwire and is gonna do this for her.
Yeah.
And at some point, it just starts to hurt Shauna too much, and she's like, "I can't do it, I can't do it," and, you know, jumps into Ty's arms sobbing, like,
I
"I don't know
have
what I'm
to
gonna
I
do."
have to
It
say
was
something. I just have to say it.
okay,
I don't expect you to respond.
okay.
I would not even know how to begin to do that. Like, I wouldn't know what to do, is
I
what I
wouldn't
just wanna
either.
say. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean, other
And they
than
didn't have Google, so I don't know how she's figuring this out, but
no, I mean, other than I would
yeah,
assume
see, I don't wanna get into
that
that.
I wouldn't know what to do either.
Right, right,
I'd be
right.
faking this
Yeah,
as well
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
anyway, so, I mean, obviously, women for eons have figured out how to do
Figured
it,
it out, yeah,
but
yep.
there's a
Again,
reason.
donate to your local Planned Parenthood.
Right, exactly.
Please.
Exactly, please, NARAL, Planned Parenthood, all of it, abortion is
Mhm,
healthcare. Okay,
mhm,
continuing on. So that is Shauna and Ty. And then we get Nat and Travis. So they're hooking
mm.
up all over these woods. And
All over these woods.
they keep trying to bang. Eventually Coach and Travis have this moment where Coach is like, "Dude, I know what's going on. You, we don't need a pregnancy out here."
Yeah.
He doesn't know yet, but we don't need a
Coach is
pregnancy
not
out here.
wrong.
He's not wrong. We do not need a pregnancy out here.
No.
That's not a good idea. And so he gives Travis all of his condoms and he's like, "Dude, we were only going to be, in the wilderness or we were only going to be in Seattle for a week. Like, what is?" He's like, "Don't ask me." Like,
And
it's like,
then later when we learn Coach is gay, like, we don't know he's gay at this point, so we're
mm-mm.
like, "Are you just hooking up with all these women? Like, what are you
Right,
doing?"
right.
But
And
now we learn is I don't know if that's where his boyfriend lived or if he was
no,
just hooking up, we don't know.
like he was just hooking up. His
Yeah.
boyfriend lived in New York, and remember, they sort of broke up
Oh, that's right, that's right,
before,
that's
so
right,
he
yeah.
was
So he
basically
probably
going to go on his
grabbed
own
just a
bank
box
trip
of condoms, yeah.
and was like, "I'm going to a different city where no one knows me.
He's going on a bank trip, you're
I'm
right.
going on a bank trip,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna, fuck my
Banging my way
heartbreak
through the
away."
Emerald is it the Emerald City?
It is the Emerald
Yes.
City.
Bang
Seattle
my
is. I
way
love
through the
Seattle.
Emerald City.
So, the biggest part of them all is not so much the condoms, it's that Nat and Travis are hooking up or trying to hook up in the plane, and Travis basically was like, not he's not able to get it up, and he's in his head because he thinks Natalie has fucked all of the high school,
Because that's
and
what Jackie
that's what
is telling
Jackie's
people.
right, because Jackie's an asshole.
Yes, she is.
May she rest in peace, but she was a dick.
She gets an
And
RIP, but we still hate her.
yeah, we still hate her.
Mhm.
And I don't even know if I hate her. She was a mean girl.
She was a mean
Um,
girl. Mm.
yeah, and she thought she was better than everybody. Okay, maybe I do hate her,
Yeah, I
but
hate her for how she treated Shauna. She was a
I do
dick.
too. She was a
Mhm.
dick to Shauna. But Travis is like, "How many people have you slept with?" And Nat gives the most amazing
Oh, it's amazing. It's
chef's
amazing.
kiss,
Yes.
do not slut shame me.
Yep.
Girls are allowed to want sex.
Yep.
And this was to have given this speech in 1996 was fucking revolutionary.
Yes. Yes.
Because we still in 1996 we're supposed to pretend like we didn't want to have sex.
In 2006, we were still supposed to pretend it. Only like I would say in the last 10 years has that changed.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it's really only shifted in the last like 5 years. Like it's really
Mhm.
finally
Mhm.
gotten some momentum that like, oh, women are sexual beings and
Yeah.
women have sexual agency and we have
Yeah.
desires and we have things that we want
And we don't
and
have to dress in a way to not make you lust after us. That's your
right.
problem, not
But
ours. Mhm.
exactly. I actually was looking through my Facebook memories today, which I do every morning, and I posted something a couple of years ago, but it was like causes of rape. And it was just like one circle with one color, and it's the color that lines up with rapists.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what you wear, it's not where you
No.
walk, it's not if you're
No.
drunk. Rapists are the cause of
Mhm.
rape.
Mhm.
I remember when I went off to college in 1991, so around this time, we got like a 3-hour lecture on how not to get raped.
I
Women did.
struggle with this.
Boys did not.
I struggle with this because there is such thing as risk factors.
There is.
You know what I
There
mean? But
but boys don't get this
men don't
whole
have to fucking think about this shit.
no, and they don't get lectured about it either.
No, they don't have to worry about walking down a dark alley by themselves at 2 in the
No,
morning. Not at all.
no, not at
Mm-mm.
all.
Mm-mm.
And if God
But
forbid
would
a
I
man
want my daughters doing that? No.
no, no, I don't wanna do it either. Like, I get
Mm-mm.
it. It's ugh, I hate the world sometimes. But Nat just gives this great "You're not slut shaming
She's
me."
amazing. She's my favorite character.
I know.
She's
There's a
amazing.
reason.
I
There's a
love her.
reason.
I love her.
And that's everything that happened in the wilderness.
Mhm.
Are we
Yeah.
ready to close it out and move into the present time? Anything else you
Yeah.
wanna say?
No,
Okay.
nothing I can think of. Oh, I did wanna say
Yeah.
that we do have this moment of kindness between Jackie and Shauna, where Jackie gives her her last piece of food.
Mhm.
What did you think of that? Is Jackie kind? Is she kind
I
sometimes?
think
Like
she's kind sometimes. I mean, she and Shauna have such a frenemy relationship.
mhm.
best friends, but they also kinda hate each other,
Yeah.
and they don't really know what to do with each other, but they love it's hard, and it's so interesting to realize or to know that, the real reason Shauna's starting to really fade is she's pregnant
Right.
with Jackie's oh, and Jackie at this point is also talking about how she regrets we forgot this, how she regrets not sleeping with Jeff before
Yes.
they left, and Jeff had told her, "I loved you," the day
And
before.
she didn't say it back.
She didn't say it back, and she regrets that she didn't have sex with him because, "If we die out here, it's Jeff's first time will be with someone else."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
girl, Jeff's first time has already been with someone else, and it's the girl you're standing next to, and you can
Yeah.
see Shauna, like, she's like, "I didn't say I love you back," and you could just kinda see Shauna, like,
Yeah, and Shauna's kinda like, "Well, do you love him? Because it doesn't
right,
seem like you do,"
right, I think she's trying to assuage her own guilt of,
Yeah,
"Oh god, if
100%.
if Jackie really loves him, then what I did is even worse."
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, to be Shauna in the midst of this, knowing all of this
I know.
and trying to, at this point, Ty's the only one who knows she's pregnant.
Mhm.
Um, and obviously the only one who knows who the father is. But
Yeah.
even Ty didn't know that for a little while. Like
Right.
Shauna is just living with so many secrets and so much guilt.
And we
And
see, like, adult Shauna, this is probably why she handles keeping adult Shauna has so many secrets, and
yep.
she handles it so well. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't she goes through life like a robot, doesn't affect her at all. Whereas
No.
Natalie's, like, being eaten up by these secrets and you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And she's just like, I'm fine."
I'm fine. It's cool.
Mhm.
No big deal.
It's a learned behavior.
Yeah. Ugh. God, we have got to find out what happened in Shauna's childhood someday. We have
I
to.
know. It's the season we all need where we go back in time.
I feel like season 3 needs to be the, like, go back in time and really understand who all these young women are, and also we need to see how all of their families reacted.
I will say that Lost did that. So
Okay.
once they established that's what made it so great. Once they established all the characters on the island and you got to know everybody, then
Right.
they spent time every season going back and showing you how the person ended up on the plane, any
Okay.
traumas or storylines that they brought with them. It was really interesting. That was one of
Okay.
my favorite parts of Lost.
Yes, they gotta hopefully they take that from the
Mhm.
Lost
Mhm.
playbook,
But
but
nothing
not the
else.
shitty part,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
shitty parts.
Not the smoke
S
monster.
No.
Mm. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words.
So, now we're in the present. We'll talk about present. So, let's talk about Ty and Simone first, and Sammy, who absolutely needs to be returned.
I could
S
not remember why Simone was so pissed off at
Right.
Ty. I'm like, why is she so mad at her? And then I remembered the press conference, but like, it still seems extreme.
Well, she told her she was going to drop out because Sammy was losing it and
Mm.
needed his mom,
Was
and
was Sammy losing it because of the red paint under the bed? Yes, right?
well, that was
Yes.
one of the signs, and he was having trouble at school,
Okay.
and
Okay.
she can see Sammy's coming off the rails,
Okay.
and she's like, "I need you to drop out of this race because it's adversely impacting our kid."
Mhm.
And Ty's like, "Yep, I'm gonna do it." Has the press conference, changes her mind.
Mhm.
It's just and they've never talked about it. So Simone is
Yeah.
pissed walking into that. And so we're seeing the fallout of that. Sammy's not doing well. Simone says to Ty she's taking him to a psychiatrist, and if Ty actually gives a shit about her family, she will be at that appointment.
Mhm.
This is
3
not an
o'clock, but doesn't tell her where.
right. So
Just
hopefully she finds it.
wander around.
Wander around whatever
Track
part
my
of New
iPhone
Jersey
and
you
see
live
where
in.
I am and get there
Right.
at 3
Get
o'clock.
there yourself. Oh my god. It's funny. In a couple weeks, I'm going up to a burlesque workshop in New York with a couple of women from my class, and they're like,
Fun.
it'll be so much fun. They're in their early 30s, and then there's me.
Yeah.
And this is a wild group of people. And I told Todd last night, I'm like, I think I'm gonna put keep
Life
track of my
360 on
location.
her phone.
I'm gonna have you track my location that weekend,
Uh,
just so you know where I am as I'm gallivanting around New York. Oh,
Are
bless.
you going to city or upstate?
City. We'll be in
Okay.
Brooklyn. We
Okay.
got an
Oh, cool.
Airbnb and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'll tell you about that afterwards. Anyway, but so somehow Ty does wind up at the appointment. She uses Find My Phone and she winds up there. And, they're observing Sammy doing some like sort of play therapy thing. And the
Mhm.
psychiatrist is like, Yeah, he's having dissociative episodes, like, there's
Psychiatrist
stuff.
like, "You guys gotta take this kid back to the
This
store."
kid needs to be returned. He is broken.
Broken, the stamp, broken.
Yeah, even the psychiatrist is like, "Yeah, you need to take this kid back. He's not working out for you 2." And in the middle of it, Ty's phone rings, and she picks it up to look at it, and Simone's like, "You fucking bitch. Like,
Mhm.
can't
Mhm.
even keep your phone off for a minute or
Mhm.
ignore a call because our
Mhm.
kid is in big trouble."
And it's worth noting, not that I'm a big Sammy apologist here, but it's worth noting that they're asking him about incidents that we believe Taissa is actually doing.
Right,
So
right. So
he really doesn't remember them
no, because he
because
didn't
he
do
didn't do
them.
them. Mhm.
No, and he's saying,
So
"I
he's
see
being
this."
gaslit essentially.
He's "Oh god, do we have to return Sammy be or do we not have to did we think we had to return Sammy just because 'cause he's been gaslit to death? Like, what is." No, he's still creepy. With that
He's
doll, he's creepy,
yeah, and the
and he
things he
hides in the
says
cabinet.
yeah, mm-mm,
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 there's something
no,
not right about this kid.
no. He's easily gaslit because he's creepy to begin with.
Exactly. He has a lot of problems to begin with. So, um, anyway, so Ty we established Ty is the crazy woman in the tree. We do
Yes.
see that
Yeah,
at the
we do
end.
see it.
So we know
And
Sammy's not
again, she's
lying.
dressed to the nines, got the cell phone in the pocket, and eating dirt.
Dirt and, like,
Mhm.
just all over her I mean, she's feral in this moment. It is so nuts.
Scary.
It is. It's real scary, but, Simone's pissed. Sammy's not doing well. Things are not going well at the lesbian beautiful house.
No, no.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. This marriage is not going well. Then we get, the women coming together,
Yes.
and so Ty and Natalie are in Natalie's room,
Mhm.
and they get this text about the ransom money.
Mhm.
So then they call Shauna.
Mhm.
Shauna shows up. This is how we establish Randy is living at the
Yes.
motel because his wife kicked him out again.
Yes.
And so that exists. That comes into play in the second season.
Mhm.
And we find out Natalie, Natalie, Ty, and Misty
Shauna.
got the postcards.
Oh, Misty.
Shauna did not.
Shauna did not how did we not see this?
I don't know. Shauna didn't get the postcard. Shauna has no idea what's going on here.
Jeff, that is just sloppy.
That is sloppy. You needed
He
to mail it to all of
he
them.
should have sent it to her as nothing else but a test to see if she would tell him about it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know what he's
He's
doing.
he's not bright.
He's not bright.
He's not bright.
Mm-mm.
He peaked in high school and he's not bright.
Mm-mm.
And so they start making a plan to get the ransom money, which
Mhm.
becomes a problem because Ty's like, "Yeah, I can take care of it." But she can't because the bank won't let her withdraw that much money without Simone knowing, which is that a thing?
It is if they have a joint account,
But if they have
and
a
they do.
they do, but if you had a joint account, you can make any I mean, you are as much of an owner of it as the other person.
Depends if I don't know if this is still a thing, but
Okay.
in the past, it's been a thing if it's an and or account. So if it's
Ah,
an or
got it.
account, you can take whatever you want of it. If it's an and account, you both need to do it. So
Ah,
Mhm.
interesting.
The way I thought it was happening was it seemed to me like it was maybe a CD or something she was taking out. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems some sort of investment, something. It
Yeah.
was more than just
Yeah.
I don't think Taissa has $50,000 sitting in her checking account.
I don't know. Look at that house.
I know, look at that house, maybe she
Yeah.
does. Um, but she can't get the money, so now they're like, "Okay, what are we gonna do?" Natalie eventually goes and sells her
Call
Porsche.
on my hero, man. She'll figure it
Right.
out.
Which again, where did the Porsche come from?
Well, she says I was a different person when I bought it. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. And that is, I believe that's, I'll check with Timmy for verification,
yeah.
but I believe that's the same model Porsche that Dylan drove in 90210, I believe.
Oh,
Hmm.
it could be. It looked like it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just wanna know where she got it, and I was going back to my favorite Vulture recap of this
Hmm.
episode as well,
Hmm.
and, you know, reading theirs recap because they only know what they know up through this episode, they're
Yeah.
like, "Natalie must come from money because she has this Porsche,
Nope.
and she paid for this fancy rehab," but we find out eventually that Taissa paid for the fancy rehab,
So I wonder if she maybe had a sugar daddy at some point
maybe,
or,
or she was dealing drugs,
yeah, something, or maybe
or
dancing, something that made money fast.
I wonder though, did these girls get a settlement after this accident too?
That's a good question from the airline.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
That's a good question. If so, where did Shauna and Jeff spend this? Maybe they bought their house.
Maybe they bought their house. Maybe
Mhm.
they got their furniture business going. Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe.
Because we don't know if like if this furniture business was like a family business or something. Like my dad sold linoleum because his father had a linoleum business. Like
Right.
that would make sense too. But
Again, we need, like, the footage of them just coming home and what happened in those few weeks and months
mhm,
afterwards, the
we
aftermath.
do. We absolutely do.
Mhm.
Um, so Nat and Kevin are now sleeping together. We know that for a fact.
Mhm.
He
And
goes with her to
Misty's
sell the car.
watching.
And Misty's watching the whole damn thing
Mhm,
and
mhm.
finger banging herself or something.
Yep,
Who knows?
yep.
Oh, Misty is so crazy. This is where we also see in the future Misty is stealing drugs, and that's when she
Yes.
kidnaps Jessica Roberts because she's going
Yes.
to fix this with Jessica Roberts.
Yep.
Oh my God, Misty is so diabolical. Adam is texting Shauna a lot, and you can see Shauna's struggling to balance this. Like, how
Yeah.
is she trying to keep this a secret and be a mom and deal with, the Scoobies over here? Because this
The
is now starting
Scoobies.
to it's now turning into like a Scooby Doo situation.
Yes.
The Scoobies a la Buffy version of the Scoobies. Were you a
Mhm.
Buffy watcher?
I saw the movies, but
Okay,
I
but you never
didn't
watched the
watch the
TV show?
show.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
you would love the show.
Mm-mm.
You would love the show. It's such a girl power show.
Okay.
Really, really good. I loved it. So, but they referred to themselves as the Scoobies when they were
Okay.
solving all these
Okay.
vampire and werewolf situations.
That makes sense.
I wonder if Ty, oh my gosh, we could have a crossover of Ty as the werewolf into the Buffy universe. Too much. It's too much going on. Um,
I still say
and
Ty's a werewolf. It's gonna come out.
yes.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the awkward Jackie brunch
Oh, yes.
because this
Yes.
is a lot of this.
A lot.
So Jeff comes in as Shauna's looking at text messages from Adam and is like, "So are we going to brunch?" And she's like, "No, that's tomorrow." And he's like, "Nope, that's today."
Mhm.
And you could see her being like, "Fuck." And he's like, "Do you not want to go?" She's like, "No, we have to go. It's her birthday."
Yeah.
She's so driven by this, like, feel knowing what we know, where she feels culpable for Jackie's death.
Mhm.
She feels so obligated to do this. So now we're at this brunch. What are your
I'm
thoughts? You
just
have thoughts.
thinking. You could see my face.
I see
I'm
your
just
face.
thinking. Does she feel like, does she feel guilty and she's doing it out of guilt? Or does she feel like she has to keep some kind of facade up that she
Mm.
still values Jackie even though she really despised her? I don't know.
It could be a little of both.
A
I
little bit
think
of
her
both.
I think her feelings about Jackie are incredibly conflicted.
Yes, I agree.
And so then we get to this brunch and this beautiful, not my taste at all, but this you can tell Jackie's family has money. Just the
Yes.
way her parents are coiffed, just the way the table setting
Mhm.
looks.
Mhm.
We can and
Mom's
we know
whipping up a tuna quiche.
which sounds disgusting to
Sounds
me.
gross, but, like, sounds fancy too. I
Yeah.
don't
I don't care for
know.
quiche, but it sounds gross. But they're eating there and this is where we learn Jackie's parents had no idea who Jackie was, and they have
Yes, but in
beatified
the
her to a
90s,
whole new level.
tell me if you agree with this. In the 90s, Gen X, right?
Yeah.
These guys were all Gen X. Did your parents have any idea who you were when you were 15, 16?
That's a really good question.
I feel like my parents only knew what I wanted them to know. And Jackie's the type of person who's gonna be like, "I am the princess," to my
Yeah.
parents. Mhm.
Yeah, they definitely didn't know she didn't know they did not know she was getting finger banged upstairs,
No,
and
not at
Jeff
all.
was sneaking out the window, so they didn't know
Yep.
that part of her. I would say at that age, my mom knew me pretty well because I didn't really keep many secrets from her.
Yeah.
My dad had no idea who I was.
Yeah, both of my parents had no idea who I was.
Yeah,
Nope.
my dad had no idea who I was.
Nope, nope, nope.
And that's also when he was in medical school, like, he just also wasn't around a
He
whole
was
lot.
busy.
So, he was real busy. Um,
I was
so
busy.
I'm busy. Uh, Sean and what the fuck was her name?
What was her name?
It was a bad name. It was like oh god. Destiny.
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 Mhm.
It was the
Destiny.
Destin
I was
IE.
busy, and then we
Busy.
have Lindsay. It was in a book.
God, the arc of Lindsay is just an
Ugh,
amazing,
I know.
amazing arc. Anyway, we're not gonna do Lalu, but yeah, I just don't know. But her parents had no idea who she was, and have clearly just beatified her.
Oh,
She is
100%.
the most
Yes.
perfect girl that's ever walked the
Yep.
planet, and
Yep.
they look at so down on Shauna that
Oh, yeah, Shauna, like, weren't you glad to just get Jackie scraps?
right, weren't you
Mhm.
happy to just live
In her
in the
shadow.
shadow
Mhm.
because it was the best shadow ever, and so you must be thrilled by it, and Shauna's just taking it and taking it and taking it, and they're like, "Well, you did have a child. I mean, you didn't have a job or a career or anything, but you had a
Jeff's the only
great."
one that contributes.
That's
What?
the only what? Exactly. And you must just love your beautiful daughter. She's like, "Actually, I don't even like my daughter," which is so
Nor do we.
great.
Nor do we.
Nor do
Raise
we, 'cause
raise
your
your
daughter
hand, audience.
sucks.
Yeah.
Your daughter with Sammy needs to be returned because she is
This
broken.
and this is too where we find that we get an age that Callie is
Mhm.
16.
Yep, so we know cannot be wilderness baby.
Yeah, and not only that, this makes pervy mustache dude way creepier in the future.
Uh-huh,
Mhm.
uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think she was 18. She was
Porn
17 at
stash, porn
best.
stash,
Porn
that's what we were
stash, yeah.
calling, yeah.
Porn stash. She was 17 at
She might have
best.
been 17, yeah.
She might have been.
Mhm.
But that mu not much time has elapsed
Mm-mm,
through all of this, so she
mm-mm.
probably is still 16.
Yeah.
Ugh, porn stash is the worst.
Oh, he's the
Um,
worst.
he is the worst. And eventually, Jeff really takes up for Shauna and
He
is
does.
like, "Fuck this. I'm done listening to you diss my wife." And then is like, by the way, we slept together before the plane crash, and Jackie never knew, and I was cheating on her the whole time."
'Cause
Like, he just
again, we were kids. Like, it seems so ridiculous to me now that these 40 somethings are litigating what happened when they were 16,
right.
but they're so stuck there because of
Yeah.
this trauma. Like, of course they are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And her parents are still looking at them like 16-year-old kids.
Yes. Yes.
They have yes, they accept the fact that Jeff and Shauna got married and have a baby. They know that time has happened, but they're
Mhm.
still treating these 3 people like they would the day Jackie got on that plane and they never
Well,
saw her again.
and it's weird because, like, they're quote unquote good to Jeff and Shauna, but they would throw Shauna off a cliff in a heartbeat if it meant they could have their daughter back, which I get that. I'm not
I get
shaming
that
them
too.
for that. I
No.
get that. I would feel the
They're
same way.
they're so stuck in their trauma, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they never really know what happened to Jackie. I'm sure they came up with some story. I don't think there's I mean, I would highly doubt that Jackie's parents know that Shauna ate her.
No, they don't know. But
I yeah.
I feel like there's some weird underlying hostility. Like, why did you make it out and she didn't? And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
almost like Shauna has become frenemies with her Jackie's parents now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very much looking at this like, yeah, you were not nearly good enough to make it out of there if our
Yeah.
kid wasn't good enough to make it out of there.
Yeah.
And what they also don't know is that Jackie is totally incapable of handling the situation in the wilderness.
Yeah.
She folds like a house of cards, and
Mhm.
Shauna gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and
Yeah.
ugh, and it's such a hard thing, and eventually she goes upstairs to go to the bathroom, makes her way into Jackie's room, which looks exactly the same as the day Jackie well, but here's the thing, I don't know. I can imagine a place where packing for a trip like that as a teen, I'm not leaving that room perfectly pristine.
Right.
There's my clothes are gonna be thrown all over the place. There's probably still gonna be a glass on the
Mhm.
nightstand.
Mhm.
Like, my mom is gonna come in after I left and go, "Oh, shit. Okay,
Yeah.
fine." Like, I'm cleaning up her shit. That's what's gonna happen to 16-year-old me or 17-year-old me.
Mhm.
So, my guess is after she left, her parents came in and straightened everything up. Her
Yeah.
mother did,
Yeah.
and then never touched it again.
I know. I thought about this and I'm like, I
But it still looks
I
like
don't
such a
know.
little girl's room
I know.
versus a
I was
teen
trying to
room.
put myself in her shoes. Like, God forbid something happened to one of my girls. Could I change the room? I don't know if I could. Not for like
Yeah,
a good 10 years. I probably couldn't. Maybe
yeah.
after that, but I mean, it's
Ugh.
been 25 years here, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I could live in the same house, honestly.
I know.
I don't
I
know if
know.
I could do that.
Yeah.
But, do your girls have separate rooms?
Yeah.
Each have their own room? Yeah.
Yep.
Did they ever share a room
Oh, yeah.
when they were babies?
Up until they were 8.
Okay.
Yeah, they shared a room at our old house.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
we had like They were in the attic and Timmy, like, vaulted the ceilings and did, like, a carriage room kinda
Oh, fun.
situation, and they were up there together. They
Oh,
shared
cute.
a bed together, it was cute.
Oh, I love it.
Mhm. My
Um,
sister and I shared a room and shared a bed until I was, like, 13.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
Sharing a room is one thing, sharing
yeah,
a bed is a whole other level at
yeah,
13.
yeah, she would
And if you
kick
were
me,
13, that means she was 16.
yeah, she would kick me, she would put a pillow over my head, you name it. Maybe I was, like, 11, I forget, but it just felt like forever.
This is worse than baby sister in the back.
Yes, it is.
This is
Yes, it
worse than
is.
baby sister in the
Yes,
back.
it's literally having the scorch in the bed next to you.
No wonder your father came in and Charlie horsed you.
He Charlie horsed the shit out of us, and he needed to.
For those of you who are not familiar with
Mm.
that, I believe we talked about that on the Natalia Grace things. We were talking about
Yeah,
child abuse and
yeah,
spanking and all that.
yeah.
Anyway, whew, that seems like forever ago that we recorded that.
I know, I miss recording documentaries, I
Yeah,
do
we'll
love it.
find one. We
Mhm.
will find one.
Murdaugh
Anyway,
Murders.
yeah, so that's the episode.
That's the episode. It was a good one, it was really illuminating, it
Mhm.
was I mean, just the whole Jackie's parents thing, I was so fascinated by that scene.
I was too, to watch everything at play, and,
Mhm.
you know, Jackie's parents are total assholes, but I have a deep amount of empathy for them
Sure, sure.
because,
And we
it's the
still
worst of the
have
worst.
0 idea what Shauna's parents are like.
Right.
Are they in the
We've never
picture?
met them.
Clearly, they're not around.
No, the only thing we saw of her house was her light bright that said "fuck you." She
Mhm.
has,
She
like,
had
a
a great
cool
room.
upstairs bedroom
She had a great
with,
room.
like, lights that I'm sure we're gonna set the house on fire at some point.
Mhm, mhm,
But, like, when she left, we never saw her say goodbye to her parents. We saw Thaisa say goodbye to her parents. We saw Van try to say goodbye to her mom, who was passed out on the couch.
mhm,
We didn't see Natalie say goodbye, but we know what happened in Natalie's family.
mhm.
We didn't see Misty say goodbye. Like, we
No,
don't know what
no, we
happened in
don't know.
Shauna and Misty's family at all.
Like, does Shauna have any siblings?
We don't know.
Did Jackie? Jackie clearly probably did not. Oh, didn't
Probably
she
did
have a
not.
brother? No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
My guess is she's an only child.
So that's another thing. All these kids are only children?
Right, right.
What's going on here? What's
Who
going on here?
knows?
We
Yeah.
need that season. We need time
I need the
period
family tree.
19 well, they go in 1996, they're gone for 2 years. So we need a show that is like 1998 to 2001.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We need those 3 years. We need to know what happened.
Mhm.
We need to know how all of their families reacted when they even came back, and when the families found out who came back and who didn't come back.
Mhm. Mhm.
'Cause I'm sure when they were found, all of the families were like, I'm sure Jackie's parents were like, "They found them. She's
That's the
coming
thing, like,
back."
this is so rich with narrative opportunity.
Mhm.
You could carry I know the show's only scheduled to go 5 seasons, but it could go 8
It
if you
could.
start going into the backstories of everybody.
For sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I'll be
And
so
doing
curious
it
to see what
well, and
happens in
they
season
are
3.
strong writers, so just keep it
They
up.
are. They are.
Listen to me, keep it up, kids.
Good job, guys. You keep
Wow,
going.
could I be more condescending?
You're a writer. You know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, my, show that I wrote that was nominated for several Emmys.
That show, right,
Whatever,
which is
that
why
show.
you're
Mhm,
which is
mhm,
why you're living
mhm.
in Scranton right now. Who knows?
Oh, alright, well, this has been fun.
This has been great, and
I
next week
love these
we'll
rewatches, and I can't wait, like, for season 3. I love guys, this is why yes, we're covering reality, but we love covering scripted stuff because
yeah,
it's so rich and so amazing.
which is why I can't wait till we get to things like The Handmaid's Tale and The Crown.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
Crown is gonna be great because it's all gonna be around a period of time that you and I were very much aware of.
Yes.
So it's gonna be when Diana dies and all. It'll be great.
Yep. Save it. Save
Save
it.
it. Save it. It'll just be great.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.